No, cool. Wow, Screaming Pops podcast Christmas special. Episode 4.
I feel like I should be wearing a hat.
Yeah, I'll probably put a little hat on my logo.
Yeah.
That's as festive as I'm feeling this year. We've only just got our Christmas decorations out. So.
Yeah. I was well early. Having kids in the house, it was like as soon as it was December.
Right, yeah.
That was my instructions to get up in
Get
the loft.
Yeah. That was me today. But Saskia did a good thing. She'd forced my hand because I bought some nice like Christmassy chocolates, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll have those. And so this is December, I can eat those. And she was like, no, I've hidden them. I was like, what do you mean you've hidden them? I was like, and she's like, until you get the Christmas stuff out of the loft, you're not having any Christmas chocolates.
Decorated.
I was like, gosh, it's like, I don't know. Like with my parents again. So, yeah.
Nice. No, sweet.
But yeah, no, it's good to be back again in the Fulford Arms pub,
Yeah.
as usual. The regular horn. I've not even chased other places because I just know it's so easy to get this in here. So.
Yeah, it's ideal, mate. It's ideal. I was here the other week for a gig. That was very good.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, certainly in a clearer head today than I was then.
Yeah, nice, yeah. Oh, the same. I was here not long ago for a gig.
Nice.
Hopefully down for some more in the new year, I think. There's a few things going on. So
Sweet, man. Sweet. What's been going on in your world then, mate?
Not too much. I was offering some free drone tours in November, kind of local places and a few places. Kind of had a few feelers. But
anybody take the bite?
Yeah, so I did one for the local climbing wall.
Oh yeah, a friend of mine that works goes to Redgate quite a lot. And
oh yeah.
I asked him if he saw the video, and he sure did.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so I like that, and then. Yeah, it was just kind of go in, make a reel for them, and that's pretty much the deal was. And then off the back of that, they gave me free climbing sessions, like 12 sessions or something, which is pretty good.
Oh, that's nice. That's all right.
That's good of them because the actual owners weren't there when I went. It was kind of like this, the normal staff, and they were like, I rocked up and they were like, yeah, we've just been told there's a drone coming now. We don't know what to expect.
In you come.
And I think they basically been told like be a bit wary because I think they were expecting like this kind of sort of like table size thing. So we're going to fly around
a helicopter.
Like, they just get this little thing out and start buzzing it around the cafe, and they're like, oh, that's fine.
Sweet. Oh, nice. Happy days.
But I had to do like 3 runs because the first one went really well, and then one of the staff got really excited and started filming it as I was going around.
Right, you just see that on video.
Yeah, it's just on the video, so I'll do it again. And then
I do always think, I wonder how many takes people have where they're like flying around offices and there's like 60 people sat in places. It just takes one of those people to look up and it's like...
That's it.
Ruined.
It's distracted. It's like, I don't know whether other people see it as well, but people like just normal bog standard public who don't fly drones must see it as well. You see this person like looking at the camera like, oh my god.
Definitely.
So, but no, so then I did another one, and then they were talking to me while I was unplugging the drone after I landed, and I stupidly hadn't pressed stop on the camera, and it's like not like the GoPros where it will like if you plug back in and save the file, it just completely loses it. So,
bummer.
So I was like, I'll do it again. And the last one was the one we ended up using in the end. It was actually it was one of the things as well. I was like, I went in and I was like, oh yeah, let's fly around for a bit, get some, try and do a bit of a line, and then looking back, I was like, I've got to make a reel, and I'm limited to like 90 seconds. So you have to do loads of like speed ramping to get it all fixed in, or I can just use this third one that was actually like just like a nice steady speed.
Cool.
Shows everything.
Just took in the lot,
fits in the whole thing. So and that was good. And then I've got another one that I might do tomorrow morning if the weather's good.
Cool.
But it's like you get in touch with people and they're like, yeah, cool, we're keen, and then they get quiet. And then you kind of go, oh, I'm coming down this. And they're like, oh, I'm not going to be there, so try a different day. And then it's just kind of sorting stuff out.
Constant chasing.
But I'm kind of done with doing freebies now. I just want people to...
That's it. I guess there's only so much you want to give out, isn't there? And then eventually, hopefully, you've built up enough of it.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, you end up doing otherwise you end up doing like all free work for loads of businesses in the area, and then there's no work.
There's no work left for you. You've done it all for nothing.
But no, it's growing slowly, and I've finally sorted out my website's search engine optimization.
Okay.
For ages, it was just a stupid thing I'd missed where they have like on Wix when they set it up is that you don't have to include it.
Yeah.
So it's not like it should have just been there. What they should do is just make it so you can't delete it. But there's like a contact section of the homepage.
Right. Okay.
And you can just. And I was like, I have a contact page, so I'm not going to have the contact stuff on my homepage. I'll be a separate page. And and it's like, no, if you go in there, put your even just a location like just York. Yeah. Right. And then that is then what they're going to use to list you in the Google search. stuff. So
Got it.
so that's part of it, and then there's obviously the metadata that goes in with like your links to it and stuff that comes up. So
yeah, everything's linked together, isn't it?
So now I've got that finally sorted. It should start hopefully putting me up through the thing, and then so the next thing is just to get traffic to it.
Yeah,
so,
get people flowing through it.
and then when people Google search like drone pilot in York, I'll actually come up.
Should start appearing up there.
Yeah. So.
Oh, nice, mate. Good work.
No, so that was a bit of this week's kind of head scratching.
Yeah, the IT side of drones.
Yeah, it's just the faff.
Yeah,
it's some of this. Yeah, not really done much other stuff. I wanted to get out and fly this week 'cause it's been quite good weather. It's been cold, but it's been sunny.
Yeah,
so.
cold, but sunny and blue skies. That's it. Sometimes blessed with winter weather and flying. Really, I always remember at the flying club some of the better days of the winter days.
Yeah, but, especially for like wings and stuff.
Yeah,
when you work less wind and stuff, you don't have to worry about it as much.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's where we're at with that. But I was hopefully see what the weather's doing. Maybe go down to on Saturday, go test the 7-inch with some
sweet
motocross bikes and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Down at Micklefield, but we'll see. See what happens there.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, how about you? You've been doing much?
Yeah, so I was chasing some from old cars to new cars round a track just outside of York in Tockwith.
Yeah, I saw the pictures with your pretty goggles on.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah, no, it was good. It was my first time chasing cars. So it was an experience I had because it was a day that was open to the public. I was dying to get real up in close, and they were like the guys I'd spoken to who essentially hired us for the day. He said, oh yeah, well our instructors will all be out on the track for a good 45-50 minutes testing the cars. So that's your opportunity to get in close because they all know about it. They're all expecting you. They're all going to get briefed. And then when I get there, it's like, oh no, this location that we're at in Tockwith's a bit different to every other location that we go to, and we actually only get 10 minutes on the track because of the houses that are local and we don't like the noise. Right. So essentially 10 to 9 they all went out, and about 5 to 9 they all came back in, so they pretty much did one lap and they were just all bunched up in a long line, so it was still cool to see all the cars out. But then once the public were having a go, I basically had to not kind of interfere with their day, so I was kind of hovering around for a bit, picking if there was like a pack of cars, 4 of them, I'd pick the last car and drop in behind that one, so that then I wasn't in front of somebody driving around. But no, all the staff and all the instructors were cool, and nice. The public and stuff like that were driving past me where I was set up were more than happy. So it was good. Everything.
I've yet to meet anyone who's ever not interested or negative about drone stuff really.
Yeah, no, everyone's interested. It was surprising as well. While I was there and just charging batteries and stuff, loads of the staff that were running the car event day, they were like, "Oh, I fly. This guy flies. He flies as well." And,
nice.
Yeah, so loads of them flew and stuff. And
that's cool.
The usual, but I think they were all part of the same group whereby they used to kind of fly a lot, but now get put off by the rules essentially. I think that's kind of what the thinking about it on that day when people were saying that to me. I was like, I think that's probably what pushed me down a commercial route, because I still want to fly, and it's kind of like I can fly stuff commercially and do it legally, that's the thing. When I first kind of thought about doing drone stuff, it was 2018, but that was before they changed the race. So you had to have PFCO and stuff, and it was back then. It was FPV was kind of the slur, if you like you mentioned it, you go on forums or live streams with people and they're talking about the training and stuff, and I'd try and be oh, what about FPV, where does that fit in with the PFCO and stuff, and it was just they didn't know, so it was just kind of brushed it under the carpet. But I think in reality what it was that if you had your operational authorization, as long as FPV was in your operations manual, you were good to go. You were there, you'd written yourself in. So I think it's probably still the same. But I think it's interesting, the powers you get with the A2 CFC. It's quite interesting with weight classes. It's amazing how much you can do on it.
Yeah, it's
for what's I don't know. forgive the term, an entry level qualification, if you know what I mean.
Well, yeah.
It's one of the first steps, and it actually unlocks a heck of a lot for you.
Yeah. Well, I was reading the other day because I was looking at doing more motorsport stuff, and Motorsport UK obviously run quite a lot of they don't actually run that many events, but a lot of events run under a Motorsport UK permit, if you like. And I was reading there, they have a drone accreditation on there.
Okay, that's pretty
and it says if you need a drone accreditation from Motorsport UK. I'm not sure if you need it for like all motorsport events like that run under the permit of Motorsport UK, but it might be for just some of the rallies and stuff.
Right.
But they were saying like you need to have full operational authorization, and it specifically says like A2CFC is not sufficient enough, so they want a full ticket, and also £10 million liability insurance cover, which is 10 times the legal minimum.
Standard.
It's just you can get it still. It doesn't cost that much to get it. So I usually, if I do motorsport stuff, I usually get at least 5 anyway.
Yeah. This is one thing I said to these guys. I was like, "How much insurance do you want me to have?"
Yeah.
Because when we first started talking, it's like, you need to have this, that, and the other. I'm like, well, that's obvious. I don't want to go smashing through the back window of a Ferrari.
When I did the drift stuff, I said, how much? I know I usually have at least a minimum of 1 mil, but like, what do you need? And then the circuit actually came back when the circuit went to it was like, you need at least 5. So
right,
like,
okay.
Cool, fine.
Yeah, so that was the guys that own the circuit, they were like 5. Yeah.
That was like, they apparently they didn't normally allow drones at Three Sisters, which I think is, I've definitely seen drones there before, so I don't think that
interesting.
The guy mentioned this, they don't normally have them there. I think it's because they have had just people just come down and fly them, and they just have to have like a blanket no. But I think if you're part of an event and you talk to them and you show you've got, I send off all my details and stuff and show proof of insurance.
It was one of the things that these guys, Car Chase Heroes, where I've been at the weekend, that's one of the things they said. It was like, we just need to tell everybody, have you got a picture of yourself so I can show everybody who you are in our morning briefing and what you're flying and what to expect and things like that, because obviously people book themselves into a day racing on a track and stuff like that, and I think a lot of people have been known to bring down a Mini 2 or Mini 3 and just throw it out. Get the wife on the sticks while the fella's in the car. So he said they're constantly turfing people off with drones and stuff.
No, it was, that reminded me actually of something that when we were at the last British Drift Championship event this year, it was we were flying, and then I'd just kind of gone to charge up and stuff in the kind of cabin in the sort of race box where we were kind of set up for the day. And we looked down from this race box into like the car park at the end, and there's these 2 lads lifting this like big Phantom out of the And so the media guy, I'm just the drone guy, the whole media team there, and the main media guy went running down there and was just like, no, I just can't fly that.
Put that back in the van.
It was despite the fact that it was we had to all get permissions and stuff anyway and make sure it was all authentic, and then they just turn up and just go, we're going to do this. I feel like they were just kind of just having using it as a bit of a test day. I think there was like 4. Maybe. Some of them had like cameras and gimbals, and then some of them they had one of them was going to fly the drone, and then one guy actually came over to me from that group and said, I fly FPV2, what do you fly? We had a chat about stuff, but he was friendly enough, but I think they just kind of come down thinking they could just
start
do
filming.
whatever. So not necessarily the most professional bunch, but you've got to start somewhere, I guess, haven't you?
Well, yeah, exactly. I remember seeing loads of drones up at. This is going back a couple of years now. It was the soapbox race in Dan Mickle.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember all the photos of it.
There was a few Phantoms up over the crowds there, and that was in the years of Phantoms and stuff like that. But I wonder how much they weigh. I don't know how much.
I don't actually know how much they weigh, but based on how much, if you look at like a Mavic Air or something, that weighs like 800-900 grams, isn't it? So
I just don't like the look of them. They're horrible.
Horrible. I think as well.
Clunky.
I don't like the look of them anyway, but they're also like now compared to everything else, they are just like they're so like obnoxiously DJI and stuff. All the others, they've kind of made them a bit stealth, and it's like it looks like a relatively competent thing, whereas that's kind of like looks a bit like a
bus.
It just looks like a clown. It's just like especially like the white and like the red and green bits.
All it
missing is like the big red nose on the front.
Clown of the sky.
Yeah, clown of the sky. It's it'll probably all change again at some point with the drone regs, I'm sure. But we've got a few years left yet to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just reading about the Avatar update and stuff, and remote ID for all our friends outside of the UK, and having to dangle their phones now off their goggles and to
it's not ideal. I wonder if it's going to have the same issue I had once with my Mini 2, where I'd switched phones and I didn't log into my new phone before I'd gone out, and then I was flying in the middle of nowhere. I had no signal. It wouldn't let me log in, so it didn't let me go. I think it would let me go 30 metres up and 50 metres out, and that was it. Yeah. So I wonder if it would do the same, or whether you could override it with mine.
I was reading through someone's Facebook comments when everybody started discovering, oh my gosh, I've got to have my phone plugged in all the time. Yeah. And somebody had said, what happens if you unplug your phone during your flight? And one guy evidently went in his back garden and tried it, and he was like, drone falls out of the sky, mate. That was it. It just dropped. I was like, okay, so they've kind of fixed the Avatar death roll when you're in, but if your phone runs out of battery, it's just really going to come.
I thought at least done like a return to home.
You would have thought so, wouldn't you? But this
was he flying it in manual mode in his garden though?
Yeah, well, I don't know. The video was literally him in a snowy back garden somewhere in the US, and then he unplugged his phone and it just dropped to the deck. That was it. It was only like a metre up or something.
Yeah. But, that's unfortunate, really. Because like having goggles and everything on your head is a faff anyway. If you then got to like get your phone out,
other stuff in,
it's just a real bother.
You have a power lead and then the cable to your phone. Yeah,
it's definitely going to hinder it, I think, in terms of people getting the Avatar to use for things like just doing like drone tours or whatever and stuff. I mean, that's still a good tool, but it's kind of like, well, if I go sub 250 and don't have to have remote ID, I'm not sure what the
I mean, what are the regs in the US with like indoor flying and stuff like that? Is that still surely if you're flying indoors you don't need remote ID to be
this is it. I don't
and then the Avatar's kind of I'm not saying it's built for an indoor thing, but it's if you have to pick from the DJI lineup, that's your indoor one, isn't it? So that'd be a shame if it does hinder you indoors. But other than that, how would it know you're indoors? So I guess it's just a blanket rule, isn't it?
Yeah, unless you can put it into like an indoor mode where it just disables like the GPS hold and stuff. And
maybe.
But then that doesn't necessarily. You could just turn that off and be outside.
True. Yeah. There's a loophole there if that was the case, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they'll do it. I'm not invested in DJI enough to test all these things and report back. So
it's a sign of things to come, I think, eventually.
Yeah. But you were saying that you were looking to see if it applies to the DJI full-size FPV.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. I can't find anything yet. There's not been an update, so touch wood. Well, if there is, I just won't update it because mine works fine.
Well, that's
it. No problems at all.
Cool. Nice.
It was funny. I did I was flying at one of the museums. I did a bit of a range check just to see if there was any issues. They had a lot of like what seemed to be Wi-Fi antennas and stuff pinging around off the buildings and things like that. And I thought, if I'm flying around big metal hangars and metal aircraft and things, I'll just see what's what. Yeah. So I sat the FPV down, left it with the mate, went off for a walk with the goggles and stuff, and was absolutely fine. When I got back to get the rest of like the kit out of the bag and whack some ND filters on and stuff, I actually found out I hadn't even screwed the four aerials in the side of my goggles, and I was like, okay. But even so, I didn't have no problems. Yeah. So I thought, well, that's as good a check as any.
Yeah. Nice.
But maybe it will feature in the FPV and other stuff at some point. But
I think it probably will have to, just if they're going to continue selling them. But I just don't know why they didn't try a sub 250.
Yeah, surely it's got to come.
Especially with like what you can get out of the O3 Air unit now. Like it's kind of just saying like we can get it sub 250. Yeah. And you don't need to carry any external cameras. Yeah. And you're good to go.
Yeah. Why don't they just build the full package for us?
Yeah. But maybe that's what they were doing with this. They're like test the waters, see how popular it would be if they made one, and then go right. Okay, we're going to invest in all the tech.
Yeah, you never know. It's maybe already in plans. Everything always seems to be a step behind with tech, doesn't it? It's like, you know, the next iPhone's already, you know, probably well underway, and they already know.
Yeah.
They already know exactly what features they're going to hold off on the next one, because they'll put that in the one after.
Yeah, well, yeah, they've done all their product testing before they even send it out. Then they get all the reviews back and go, oh yeah, we'll make the changes for that. So they already start making the changes before they've even launched the current model.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, but yeah, it's just what's the world coming to? I can't fly my drones anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm not bothered about all the energy prices and everything going up. If I can't fly my drone, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I've been trying to photograph some nice Christmas lights and stuff around the local area. Well, I've been playing. It's the first time I've had to try to play with night settings and things like that. But
long exposure.
Yeah, that's it. One night, I think the GPS on the Mini was a bit iffy, and it was kind of drifting ever so slightly. So that didn't help at all. I couldn't tell. Taking the pictures of it, I was flying it like directly above my head, and I couldn't tell. But then when I saw the pictures and put them on my laptop, it's just every single speck of light is just a very, very short line. I'm like, oh no. But so it must have just been drifting around, or maybe just, I don't know, circling a bit or something. But
that's one thing I found actually recently with the action cams I've been using. Well, even if you, whether I use like the Insta360 SMO little credit card one, or whether I use like a full size GoPro 10, I'm not sure what it is about certain lights and maybe with the way the lens work, but it like basically stretches them out to like long bar lights.
Right.
That's what they look like. They just look like long spots. I don't know how.
Oh, you mean with like the lens actually over the light source?
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure. It just looks like you got the point source in the middle, and it just goes out in like 2 bars either side. Yeah, and different coloured lights can appear differently as well. I remember when back in the fixed wing flying days, I remember building night flyers and stuff when it got into winter, and I built I already had like a plane that was like a generalised kind of like trainer shape, so nice and easy to fly. I can't remember what I did. I think I put blue LEDs down the fuselage or something, green LEDs on the wings. And it lit up like the sun. There was like, you could see it, you could really see it, and it'd even light up the grass underneath, so you could see where the grass was as you're coming into land and stuff. But when you were flying circuits and stuff past yourself, it was like it was strobing, and it was something to do with the human eye apparently, in green and blue light, and it didn't like it. So apparently, I can't remember what it was. It was red and maybe white or something was better for it. Something to do with green and so blue when you were yourself out.
It was like your lights were strobing, and depending on how fast you were actually flying and stuff as well, kind of changed the frequency of the strobe almost. So it was really bizarre, but it actually made it quite trippy and tricky to try and try and fly the thing.
But that's the only issue I've had with the GoPro, other than like flying it in low light and having loads of noise. That's the only other thing I've had with them. But
I always find myself going through loads of settings because I can never quite. You can't really tell on your phone on the fly how that picture's come out. So it's like I'll go through like 3 or 4 different ISOs just in case, and a different exposure lengths and things like that. And I see how it comes out when I get home. But no, it's something I still need to perfect.
I've not really done much photo stuff. I can do photo stuff, but I'm just not really that bothered. I think
a lot of people stack photos and stuff, do they, when it comes to
the HDR stuff,
to night and things like that. But that's something I've never tried. I've heard of it and kind of vaguely understand the terminology behind it. But
I think I don't know whether it'll come more into cameras generally, because HDR photos obviously been around for a while, and people obviously like stacking photos, but HDR videos. It's been around for a while, but it's only really starting to kind of be picked up by sort of Netflix and finally getting TVs that support HDR.
That support it,
So it's going to be interesting to see whether camera firmwares and stuff, because like certain cameras and stuff can do like dual ISO, so you can kind of do a little bit.
To set a different end to it.
But I'm not sure whether like the smaller cameras, like with the GoPros, you can set like a min and max ISO, but I think that's literally just changing it on the fly between those two values. So I don't think it's necessarily recording at both.
Right. Oh, what's it? Does it just auto adjust between those two values? Or?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think it actually because when you do like dual ISO, it does like one frame first ISO and then the next frame. Yeah. Whereas I think with the GoPro stuff, it's literally just recording it 24 FPS, whatever you're recording it at, and then as it moves through the different lighting, it changes it automatically.
Within your goalposts kind of thing. Makes sense.
It gets really noisy. As soon as you go above like 800 ISO, it's super noisy.
Yeah, so I found it was the Millennium Bridge down in York that I was just practicing the photographs of, because that was all lit up and changing colours and stuff. But even when I got home and then saw it on the big screen on my laptop and started playing around in the settings and stuff in the photo editor, it was like even the stars, they were reflecting in like really weird colours, and it was like I almost had dead pixels and stuff like that in the image. But then when I realised, I was like, it's stars, but like some of them were red, some of them were yellow, some were green. I'm like, what's going on? It was only in certain ISOs as well. Yeah, probably that's it. Some of the pictures, it was in the noisier picture. The noisier the picture was, the worse it made it. Yeah, it didn't look too bad when they were in the skyline, but they were also reflecting in the river, and where you could see this random red and green dot in the river, it just looked like a broken photo, really.
No, it's
but yeah, it's definitely an art form to mount stuff.
Yeah, I think it doesn't help when you like all these drones have got like small sensors. I was talking to chatting to a horror film production company. I was interested if they wanted to try it, and it's something that they're like keen to do, but they're worried that like it's just gonna be too noisy.
Yep.
And I was like, well, maybe I'll stick something like that camera on, for example, that we're filming on now, which is still, it's a crop sensor, but it's still not that small. But even then, they were worried it would be like too noisy in the shadow. So I'd probably have to put on like some stupidly wide aperture lens, and then have like no depth of field. Probably fly, and then everything be out of focus. So it's still it's. Or get a full frame camera, but I haven't got a grand to drop on like a cigarette.
That's it. So go stick it on a flying machine.
So maybe one day, just not yet.
I'll get there. That'll be good. I don't know what other news I've got really. Lining stuff up for next year. Essentially, a few people are interested for stuff in the new year. A few companies I've approached for kind of like off the back of Halloween events and Christmas events. A lot of them actually got back and said, we're really busy, can we like come back to us in the new year, before springtime, and then we'll take a
I've had a few
clean run at it next year kind of thing, so like that's fair enough.
A few people have put a note in the calendar. It's but it's whether or not they will or not. We have to chase it.
That's it. That's what I thought. I'll keep putting notes in the calendar, because it was kind of like one after another I had the same reply. I was like, do you run all these businesses? This one same person?
Just one person managing it all.
We went through to Knaresborough, to Mother Shipton's Cave with the kids to go and see. Go and see the big man Santa Claus, and that it was the first time. I think I've been when I was little, but it was the first time I've properly taken in the sights around there. And I emailed them straight away after I left the place, because I was just like, this is an awesome. It'd just be such a good place to do a little drone tour.
I think I did email them, but I didn't hear anything back.
No, I've heard nothing.
I like saying about doing like the sort of illumination stuff. I'd email like loads of Christmassy sort of experience places, but I was kind of like, I can either keep chasing it or I just let it go, because it's going to run out of time otherwise.
It's quite a short window, isn't it?
Something. It's not something you have to kind of get lined up probably a couple of months before. And then the day before, like a couple of days before, or a week before, you just have to be like, right.
That's it. People will want the footage before on the lead up to them opening the experience, won't they?
But they don't actually get the experience in until like a week before.
That's it. It's all a quick turnaround for them, isn't it?
So it's the same.
It's almost like you're filming now to advertise for next year. Really.
It's like the Halo Scream stuff I did as well. Like that was the same. Like it was like first week. Come in like at 5:30 or whatever, and then 6 o'clock ish, and we had to basically get a good window for it. So there was enough sort of twilight so that we could get a reasonably noise-free image. It was still really noisy, but reasonably noise-free. But not that the guys there weren't going to get the scare actors in for any longer than they had to. And it takes them like 45 minutes to get all made up.
They're all
so then you had like 5 minutes to do a run, and then they were opening. That was it.
That's it. Get yourself out of the way.
So it's quite high pressure. It's quite a good adrenaline rush though, doing that, because it was like, it had to be like bang on, and it had to be, you know,
to their time scale.
Yeah, it was quite tight, but it was really good. I think it paid off, and they're interested in doing some more stuff next year. So again, it's just kind of keep in touch with them, and that's one thing as well. And it'll be the same for you with stuff you've done so far as well. I'm basically going to send out like a Christmas card to people I've worked with and be like, thank you, like please give us a review on Google, and then I'll hope with some of the search engine optimization and stuff, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
Yeah, and it's good for the website and stuff as well, if people have seen you've been used before.
Yeah, it all helps.
And now just, because it's also like when you get into it, it's kind of, people can fly drones, and, you know, which is fine, but there are definitely like better pilots than others, and that's just fair to say. Whether that's from experience or just the type of flying they do, or the fact that they've kind of been in that sector for longer. So it's kind of quite difficult to break into some bits unless you can show them like what you can do. Which is,
definitely. You see it spoken about quite a lot. Is like the people being put off because there's a lot of pilots they deem, you know, they instantly kind of look up to and think they're amazing and I'm never going to be as good as them, so I'll just quit now, kind of thing. I saw somebody call it the tall poppy syndrome or something, and it was basically being that you're just kind of like, oh, I'm never going to be as good as this guy, so I'll just quit now, kind of thing. And you know, they're taking the view that they're always going to snap up the work before me because nobody's going to look at me because they're amazing and kind of thing. But you just got to do your style, shoot your stuff. And
there's plenty of work around as well. It's not like they're going to be able to do everything under the sun. And there's going to be, you know, at the same time, because they're so good, they can charge X. Whereas you're like, okay, maybe not quite as good as them, and I'm happy with earning this amount a year, so I'll just charge Y.
Like you know, we've said before on this podcast, it's been, you know, people that don't have drone photography done day in, day out, the first time they see a drone video of their premises, of their event, they instantly go, wow, that's amazing, because it's the first time they've ever seen it. So
I think it will get to a point as well where he's kind of done it with, it's kind of got there already with like drone video and drone photography, where you get, let's say you got really good people, but originally when drones first came out, it was like, oh, we want to get a drone photo, just, you know, normal line of sight drone, we get, you know, normal photo or video. And you give it to them, and everyone's like amazed. Oh wow, I can take aerial photos with this thing. It's so easy and it looks so good. And then again, it's kind of now gone through the other end that the really skilled operators and colour gradists and people who really know their stuff are now, like, say, the ones who are like doing really well with it. And I feel like the FPV stuff is kind of, it's going to have to go that way at some point when you've got everyone and they're now doing drone tours. It's going to get to a point where some people, and I think it's kind of getting there, there's a few people that you see doing a lot of drone tours like around the country, and they're kind of making a name for themselves as drone tour pilots, which is fair play to them. They're doing a good job, and they're getting the work in.
So a lot of swanky Airbnbs and stuff all around the globe.
So and then you've got, you know, the other end of that is then going to like the center lifter stuff, which is where again that's pilot skill to then have the trust to put something like expensive on it, because it might not always be your camera that goes on there.
I couldn't imagine that would be.
It's and having the trust in the build as well and everything.
Exactly.
It's not just an off the shelf thing. So
I couldn't imagine that being designer, builder, pilot of something that then you're happy to say, just whack your few £1,000 camera on top, mate. It'll be fine. Promise I won't prang it.
Although I have heard of people, you hear like the other stories or comments every now and again, and people have crashed their red Komodos and they've been fine. Like, they've been alright. They take a few hits apparently, but I guess the lenses don't.
I guess the lens is quite expendable, should I say, isn't it?
Yeah, but then again,
stuck out.
The lenses are expensive though. That's the thing. I wouldn't want to turn up with a spare.
Oh God. Can you imagine?
I'm pretty sure this camera doesn't stop recording, but I'm just going to check because it's got over half an hour. Just check it's still alive. Oh, it's still going.
Still going, still tricky.
Amazing.
Okay.
It's not cooking yet either. Nice.
There's no steam coming out.
It's probably just about cold enough in here as well to stop that from overheating. So
that's it.
So toasty 37 Celsius. So I'm just going to keep itself probably make a good hand warmer on the way home.
Good days.
But now, just trying to think of any other things. I had a list of things and it's already escaped my mind.
Vanished, yeah. So happens.
Yeah, I haven't seen any new stuff really coming out from anywhere.
No.
No.
Is the GoPro Bones available over here? Yeah, I keep checking, but
no, it needs to be though. It's like you can get naked 11s though now, and I think a naked 11 actually probably costs less than a Bones anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'd probably be better off doing that. I was thinking about one the other day because I've got my Hero 9 that I don't really use, and I was thinking like the SMO 4K is like okay, but you don't, because what you get with GoPro Labs, like the number of bits and pieces and adjustments you get, you don't get half of that with the SMO, so you're kind of limited on sort of it's only like a few little things. It's like it's mainly frame rates, like being able to do like 4K 60 4:3 or whatever, and not being able to do that on the SMO and stuff or whatever, and
got you.
Bits and pieces. And that's the other thing as I was first, particularly for drone tours, is what's quite good sometimes is just to do it for the sake of having that. So if you wanted to do more speed ramping, it's just do it in 2.7K 50.
Right, yeah.
Or a 4K 50 if you've got the dollar for a camera to do it. But even the SMO 4K, that'll only do 30 in 4.3. Yeah, not 50. And I guess I could just, I'm not sure how the stabilization system for the SMO is quite different with use the Insta360 Studio. And so if you use something like Gyroflow, it'll crop the kind of top image, so you get like a landscape image out of your 4.3 thing. Whereas when you use that, I'm not sure how, it doesn't seem to crop that much.
Okay.
And does a good job of stabilising it, but you still get it out as 4.3. So
that's good then.
Which is quite nice, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to have the option for a higher frame rate.
Play around a lot in Gyroflow, mainly because I don't have the kit to kind of to run through it. But it seemed, when I had to play around, it seemed like obviously you start stabilising footage and it starts cropping in, but then it seemed like there was like almost different lens profiles that almost gave me some of that back, but it gave me kind of a fisheye rather than flat image. So that's one issue, because I was having an argument with one of the guys when I was doing the drifting stuff. He was like, "Oh no, just film it without stabilisation. Just use Gyroflow." And I said, "Gyroflow crops loads with GoPros, and it's for that reason. Is that when you use the lens profile, it's trying to flatten out that fisheye effect, so it pulls the corners out. But then to do that, it stretches the image out so much that you get like quite a tight crop. You're going in again.
So I did use it on the second guy. So I was like, right, for the sake of it, we'll do one day of the filming where I'll just use it with no stabilisation. It flew really smoothly, so I had to put like the minimalist amount on. And even then, if you put it like 0.1 on, it's amazing how much it crops in.
Yeah.
If you turn off the lens profile though, it then kind of stabilises it, but you keep the fisheye, then it crops it far less.
Rather than flattening it out.
Yeah, and then that was what was interesting about that. I upgraded the Insta360 Studio the other week for the SMO 4K, and it used to have an FPV lens profile in that, so it had like the ultra wide, narrow, linear, whatever, and then it had an FPV one, which like I said, just kind of pulled it right, stretched it right flat out like a pancake, and then and they've taken that mode off now. Where it's gone, just disappeared.
Just not an option.
I don't know if they just dropped support for it, but it would be, unless people start putting their kind of Insta360 1Rs and stuff on them, so they don't think it's worth having in the software. It wasn't there when I checked anyway, so. And I tried putting it through Gyroflow, but it doesn't like. I think when you look at like a GoPro gyro like noise log or gyro data log, it's quite like active. But on the SMO, it's not really very active at all. It doesn't really have much
just
of a trace.
like down to the gyro itself.
I think it's just or however it's mounted or whatever. And I think so. What ends up happening is it tries to do obviously all the actual flow stabilization stuff that it does. It tries to sync it up, but there's not enough information for it to get accurate sync. And then it actually just adds more vibration because it's moving around kind of the data point.
It's guessing.
And that's what I found with Gyroflow. If you're using anything as a data logger, that if it's not synced up perfectly when you're recording at the same start point, it's quite difficult. It's just, even if it's like not lined up by like a small amount, you'll then just start adding shakes in because it's trying to. It's basically overshooting everywhere.
Something that's not actually doesn't exist.
But like I've used it a bit, but I don't tend to use it very much because most of the time especially if I'm using the GoPros, I'll just put hypersmooth on. Especially on the GoPro.
It's good.
On the 9, it's okay. On the 10, it's really good.
Yeah.
On the 10, so. Yeah. And I don't know what it's like on the 11. I haven't used it, but I quite like an 11, especially if doing more real stuff now.
Yeah.
It's the same with the Mini 3 Pro. When it first came out, I was like, oh, I'm probably not going to do much real stuff.
Yeah, but reels
they're so popular
now,
though. Yeah.
There's like short little snappy reels.
Yeah, it's probably a good little earner as well, like just to go out and do. It's like, oh, I'll go make you a reel for 100 quid and just go out in the morning and make a shoot thing, throw it over a 1 minute video, job done. So
yeah,
it might be a bit of a thing to do.
Yeah.
But it's now the Mini 2s, they're not worthless, but they're definitely Mini 3 Pro is just that much of a step up in price. It's a bit more with the it's a bit more with the times though, like you're saying. Isn't it? I did think when I first saw it, the lens turns around 90 degrees. That's a bit of a gimmick. Yeah.
But yeah.
I kind of did think that, and then when I saw a video where it was when in Adobe Premiere they just put in the vertical exporting.
Yeah.
And you can have it. And then I was like, oh, that's interesting. So they seem to be taking it somewhat seriously with this real stuff. And I think now it's on every platform. It's like vertical video. It's just kind of like, okay.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they didn't, rather than doing like 9:16, why they didn't just do 1:1.
True.
Because most cameras can do 1:1.
Yeah.
And then you just film it widescreen. Yeah. So
yeah, you could pick the best of both worlds.
Yeah. But I guess people want to fill their giant phone screens, so probably part of it.
Yeah.
You fill their giant phone screens with 1080p.
Yeah.
Low bit rate nonsense.
Yeah. So. Yeah, all that money filming all that nice video, and then you play it on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make a difference though when you use like a camera with decent glass on it and a decent size sensor.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And then I was playing around. I went down a rabbit hole of trying to work out the best settings for reels as well, for export settings.
Right. Okay.
And I was always like, oh, I'll export it like 4K, just bump the bit rate up, and then it'll by the time it's compressed, it'll still look alright.
Yeah.
But actually, I think the sweet spot is actually to do 1080p.
Okay.
Export. And then cap off at like, depending on the length of the reel, between sort of 30 to 50 megabits per second. So if it's longer, drop it down. If it's shorter, run it a bit higher. And that seems to work quite well.
Yeah. Yeah, and now you watch reels, don't you? And some are filmed and it's quite grainy and shoddy and a bit kind of washed out, and then others are like spot on. Yeah. And it's like, wow, how?
But I think part of that's due down to the glass and the sensor they're using. And and probably the dynamic range as well, because I imagine with H.265, because of the way it smears things together, if they're like similar, they're too similar. But if you've got that dynamic range where things are quite distinct in the image, it won't compress that too much.
Yeah, it's funny. So much to learn.
It's me trying to be clever. I have no idea.
So much to learn. A lot of it goes over my head.
Yeah, there's just too much information, and people are too good as well. Like some of the stuff I really like the car reels, like the like the kind of fast kind of panning static car reels. Yeah, there was they're so I'd love to be able to do those, but it just looks well hard.
Yeah, well that's true.
So fair play to them. They're really impressive. There's one actually. There's a guy who started doing it with shopping trolleys.
Right.
Like, so he's got practice. He's like in the supermarket. And he's just doing these like awesome car shots with this shopping trolley.
Love it.
I'll send you them. They're really funny. I saw the first one. It's like in a Sainsbury's supermarket. It's just like in the car park, like underneath, like he's got like the spot lamp from like the car park light, and he's just like doing all these like
love it.
Doing all these like really cool panning shots. It's really mint. So. No, try and do more drone flying over winter as well. Keep me.
Yeah, I want some winter weather. I think we mentioned it last episode, but looking forward to some white stuff to film.
Yeah, snow shots would be good, and hopefully people will give you work. That'd be good.
Need the work. Yeah. I'm looking forward to what the new year may bring.
Yeah,
I think everyone's busy with Christmas and companies are busy with Christmas events and Christmas do's and Christmas parties.
Like January would probably be a good time to catch people actually, because they'll be back kind of at a slower pace.
That's it. I think people are resting. A lot of businesses are starting new year and new schemes, new processes for the year, stuff they'd like to advertise. I think January's going to be.
It depends on when the end of people's tax years are as well, because
that's true. Yeah.
So that was one thing I was thinking, like this time of year, like if they've got off, like if they've had a good year, and they're like, oh, we don't want to necessarily pay all this tax, I know, let's do some marketing.
Yeah. It gets to the end of the year, throw the money away.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe that'll be sort of springtime that'll kick off, and people will have.
Yeah.
If it's before August, but I guess they'll probably want it before the end of the year, spent or at least allocated.
Yeah.
So no, I even tried offering like a deal, and I've been contacting people being like, "Oh, book us in for December. Even if we don't do it in December, we'll do it like in a month's time, whatever, when they want to do it, like just to save £50 or whatever."
Yeah. I wonder if that's the thing. Yeah, book in advance, users whenever you want.
That's what I've started doing now. Is I've got like a terms of business, and I put it's in there. It's like 30% deposit for booking the date, so the date isn't secured until you've paid the deposit. So that means that someone could swoop in and be like, I really need you for this event. They're going to pay you loads more, and you could turn around and go, look, you hadn't booked me in and you haven't paid the deposit. So that's obviously dreaming, because it's like that'd be nice. Really nice, wouldn't it, to be,
we need Dan.
we need Dan. Get him out there. So. No, so I got it's in there as part of the contract, but I don't really enforce it. Like if I just kind of,
it's just in there. Yeah.
So
nice.
But it is a good way of a good tool to have there, because it means when you get like a week before the job and you've got it, you can just check in with them and be like, you're definitely doing this. By the way, if you want to can you get that deposit paid, and then you get a bit of cash and you do the job, and then it means that if they do cancel for whatever reason, you're kind of there's things like in there like, oh, if it's cancelled within 7 days or whatever, then you can you get 30, keep the deposit basically, because it's time that you've lost. It's a relatively standard type thing, but it's definitely. But I see the occasional, like in some of the like drone groups, people being like, oh, Jason, did this stuff for estate agents, and then they didn't pay me, and now I can't get hold of any of them, and it's just But then I think even if I gave them the terms of business, like I don't have the capital to enforce it and go after them. But you can do like small claims court and stuff, that sort of thing. So there are smaller sort of government systems out there to help you out in that scenario.
Cover you and get you back.
Yeah. Nice, no, I'm trying to think, was there any other news? I've not really seen anything. I thought it might be like a flurry of new products with Christmas coming up.
Coming up to Christmas.
No, it's just like the O3's come out. That's the main thing. I tried to have a look. I heard somewhere that when you were recording in 4K on board, it dropped the latency, but that might have just been a rumour. Okay. Because I couldn't find anything earlier when I looked.
Right.
But I'd be interested to see what it's like I haven't seen too much footage out of it.
No, me neither.
I'm interested to see how it works with like Gyroflow and stuff, and I'm told it from reading the comments and stuff, and one of the Gyroflow developers, I think, is really active in the group, so if anyone mentions anything or has any queries about Gyroflow, just kind of chimes in. So it sounds like it works, so it's designed to work. So,
nice.
It's whether or not it's overly usable at the end of the day, what bit rate it is and stuff, but I guess it's on board recording. I guess one of those though, isn't it, like if you break your drone and that's the only one you've got, well, I guess either way, if you had a GoPro on top, you've lost the camera, like, or if you smash it.
So would you have to run the O3 unit technically plugged? Oh no, you'd get all your gyro data from the drone itself, would you?
So the gyro is actually built into the camera.
Oh, okay.
So the actual camera has a gyro on it. But what's interesting is the camera is like, I'm not sure if it's just an odd size or whether it's just slightly fatter than the standard camera plates we have these days. There's a lot of frame companies being like, we support O3s.
Right, okay. Yeah,
or they've designed like an STL, because there's no. What's interesting, there's no like straight through mounting holes on the O3. It's all like a sealed unit. Okay. So everyone's kind of got to strap it into their drone. It's not really like a bolt down thing.
Not the conventional way then.
No, so I'm not sure whether they've done that because it's easier to fit in their avatars and they just make the same thing, and it's
maybe it's straight off the factory floor.
Yeah. And then, but I'd be interested to try it, mainly for I'm not really sure what I'd use it for other than just lightweight motorsport stuff, just keeping everything super lightweight.
Super light, quick and nimble.
I could probably do it a lot cheaper just to build like a 3 or 4 inch that's really light and run a naked camera.
Yeah.
Because same at the end of the day, you're still if you bust the quad, you're not going to get. There's no high chance you're going to bust your DJI air unit, which is also like several £100 a pop. I might be short the retail prices.
It's a bit of money, isn't it?
It's, even the walk stand stuff I'm using, that's camera and VTX and antennas is 160 quid.
Yeah.
So it's not cheap.
No, gone are the days of 15 quid.
Well, no, in my races, I've got like a little 10 quid. Yeah, was it 10 quid VTX?
Yeah.
I think I got 2 antennas for £15 for a pair.
Right.
They're actually really decent ones. They're Russia ones, so they're actually pretty good. And it's got a £15 camera, which actually the camera's probably a weak one because I don't think it's got the best latency. Okay. It claims it's reasonably low latency, but I don't think it is. I need to go back to like a Runcam Racer or something. But I haven't done any flying, like racing flying or anything for ages. Not since Nationals really, and then I did a little bit for that event that didn't go ahead, and then I've not done anything since. It's been too cold or I've been too busy.
Too cold, it's definitely cold. I was looking the other week chasing the cars, but it was actually, I think it's just before this cold snap came. I think I was lucky. I had the heated gloves ready and battery warmers and stuff.
That's it. The batteries, like for race, particularly race practice in the winter, like you just kill batteries.
Yeah, it takes the life out of it. Yeah, it really does.
And they're expensive now as well, so everything's too expensive.
Yeah. Boo.
Yeah. We'll go back to living in caves and make life simple again. We'll have caves with solar power panels
to charge the FPV.
To charge the FPV drones, and then we'll just fly drones.
That'll be alright.
We'll do that.
That'll do. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking. Other news. What have we got?
No. I'm trying to think if there's anything coming that I've seen, but not really seen anything new. Although I went to the motorbike show at the NEC last week before.
Birmingham.
Yeah, I just went down to a bit of a last minute on the whim thing. I was like, I think it was like Tuesday of that week, and it started on the Monday, when it's the trade day did, and I was like, this is actually a really good idea to go and like network with people if I want to work. Get some work
a few people there
in motorcycle tours and stuff and whatever. And so I thought I'd go down there, so I went down on a Thursday, and it was actually really busy for midweek. But yeah, I got a chance to people like on a lot of the stands, like obviously like the main manufacturing stands. There were a lot of videos, and a lot of in those videos there's quite a lot of FPV stuff. So it's creeping into sectors where I'd not seen it before. So
yeah, you do see it. You see it a fair bit, don't you? I think as drone pilots as well, you instantly pick it out and go, "Oh, that's a drone."
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
just watching adverts and stuff. And
even Saskia picks up on it now, because I've shown her so many clips and bits and pieces. And it's really funny because I'll show her like, "Oh, what do you think of this video?" She's like, "That's rubbish, pilot."
Yeah, I love
it. even she can tell now because I've just exposed her to so much like critique of like all these little bits and pieces.
Love it.
Even like that's the other thing with gyroflow as well. If you run a 180-degree shutter angle, it's a little bit like too low a shut speed for it, so it'll you get like a little bit of smearing, like because you get the motion blur at the edges anyway. Yeah. And then when it's trying to match the flow data, some of that blur creeps into the middle of the image where it's supposed to be crisp.
Okay.
And you kind of get this ever so slight kind of smearing, and it's most people wouldn't notice it, but when you're sitting there like on editing it and going through, and you're like, oh no, I can see that now. I can't unsee
it. Yeah. Once you've seen it,
So I don't know what camera settings you had for when you were doing the car chasing stuff.
Yeah, I was pretty much 4K 60, 4K 30, and 4K 24.
Yeah,
I did all sorts.
Yeah. Did you run? What did you run for shutter speed? Did you run just like?
That was it, mate. Using 180. I only did that on the FPV because I've got ND filters for that, but I don't have any for the Mini, so the Mini was just on auto.
The Mini on auto is really good.
Yeah, that's it.
I did that for some of the BDC stuff we did. I just did that on auto, so I was like, it could be faff putting the ND filters. Putting the ND filters on the Mini too is a real faff.
Yeah,
it's really annoying because some of them as well, because the way it hooks over the back into like the vents off the back of the camera. If it's not all the way down, you can see the bottom of the ND filter.
Really?
But because if your phone brightness isn't quite up or it's a bit sunny, you won't see it when you film it, and you get it home, you're like, oh, I've got that new thing in the shot.
Yeah, I was impressed with the FPV. It was it held up well chasing cars. As I say, run it manual with NDs on. It was kind of low sun because we were there relatively early in the morning, starting from.
I was going to say
from 9 o'clock kind of thing, but some clips it was it was like a partly cloudy day and kept getting caught out by the sun because it was low sun and it wasn't very bright yet. It was that nice kind of golden hour glow. And then if a cloud passed over, all of a sudden my footage went from perfect to being just like really dark. Yeah. But I ran some clips through the editor before I sent them off to the client and just had to play around with exposure settings and brightness. I thought actually you can pull it back quite easily, so it's not lost.
No, and if it even when it's I've done stuff in the woods, like I did a similar thing when I was filming one of my mates in the woods mountain biking, and I did the same thing. And I got back and I just completely messed up the exposure settings and got back and managed to pull a lot back without too much noise. And that was watching it back and it was like almost like I could make him out just, and then everything else is kind of dark shadows. And then, like I said, when I put it through the software, it actually kind of pulled up a really nice like colour palette as well, because it wasn't like loads of highlights. It was all just very
kind of.
But then like the rider then kind of stood out more because of
that was a bit like some of this footage. It was somewhere I was following like
it's quite interesting.
A yellowy gold coloured McLaren. And the rest of the scene was quite dark. It was on like a dark, because of the ND filter and the cloud passing over the sun. It was quite a dark environment. But then this goldeny yellow McLaren like really popped out. It actually looked quite nice.
It's almost like you put a LUT on without trying.
Definitely. That's it. 100%. So no, I'm intrigued to see what these guys do with the footage. I'm just itching to see some of it now.
I think that's it. When you speak to people and you're kind of like, you just give us the footage and like, okay, we can do that.
That's it. It's gone.
You kind of want that work of editing stuff. It's been quite good. So like I mentioned to you before we started recording this, with the track day company is just doing editing stuff for them at the minute, and some of that is kind of drone stuff they've had done over the year previously, and you're watching it back and you're like, oh, this is a bit boring.
I can do better. Let me in.
It's kind of, some of it was that, but some of it was also like when they'd filmed it, I think they'd got some people in that weren't necessarily bike people or drone. Like it's one of those where like they positioned themselves. Some of the shots were quite well.
I guess if you got used to your subject, you could.
It was a bit of that. So some of the shots with the drone were like really well like framed. But then they quickly lost frame because their drone piloting skills weren't the best. And then some of them were just really badly framed and it was like, okay. So a bit of a mix. But then I said to them there's enough stuff to do like a short promo film for one of their trips this year. So we put that together and it should be good. And then it's good for my editing skills as well, because I don't do loads of editing because I just like to get out and fly. I won't necessarily meticulously kind of edit bits and pieces. I'll just get it to kind of looks nice to me and I'm like, cool. I mean, it's only going to get compressed anyway on the internet, so why not just throw it out.
Sound.
So that's why I kind of do that. But it's quite nice going through and trying to be a bit more have a bit more finesse with it and really kind of pull out little bits of detail here and there to make it as good for them as possible. So
nice.
It's good.
I can struggle with the editing side of stuff sometimes because I don't like chopping my clips to bits. I don't like chopping a big chunk off thinking that little bit's good, I'll keep that, lose all the rest of it, and then the next time I watch some of my past footage back I'll be like, I didn't edit that into anything. I was like, I've just left that on the cutting room floor and that's golden. That's
what I kind of did with after round 4 of the British Drift Championship. I obviously waited for them to do their film, and then any kind of highlight bits that they didn't use that I thought were really good, I was like, oh cool,
you could use that.
Nice. And then put that for my thing. I was going to do it at round 5 as well, but I just didn't get time to do it. But I got some quite cool stuff at round 5 because I got to fly at night as well, which is decent. So
that'll look good. Nice.
And kind of by that point I got used to the walk snail system at night as well, because it's quite a high contrast image.
Right.
It's not like analog at night where you kind of still got loads of kind of
you pick
up all the infrared and everything. It does go quite dark quite quickly. And I think that's what they were saying about the new O3 system. It's got a very similar sort of contrasty image. And there is a night mode on the avatar system, but doesn't make much of a difference. But you can it's the saturation at standard is quite high, so you can dial that back quite a lot and it kind of helps flatten out.
It helps, that makes sense, rather than just oversaturated.
But because it's compressing quite a lot of stuff into the feed, it doesn't necessarily pick up the
Okay, makes sense.
Don't like that well, but it was fine for most. It was only the Halo Scream stuff. It was a bit of an issue, but if there's like enough light sources, it's fine.
You
can then keep those as your reference. But when you've got nothing, it's not the best. Whereas I remember like even in like summer's gone when we were like doing race practice, like be out flying and you like you sit down and it's twilight and you go, right, cool, I'll do this last pack, and you fly around and then you finish and you land and you take goggles off and you can't see anything.
You can't see anything.
In the FPV feed, it's like fine. You can still see everything. So no, so I'm interested to see more O3 stuff coming out and hopefully more drones using it. And I've seen like every frame manufacturer seems to be like, we can support O3.
Accommodate for it now.
So it'd be interesting to see how small a package it ends up getting into for some stuff.
How far they dial it down size wise. So
I think that's where it's going to go, because it's not like it's going to. I see people putting it on like cine lifters and stuff and things, and I think that's mainly for like the range they get with this new system. I think it's supposed to be really good. So, and maybe also as well, because if you can match a camera angle and then use the DJI footage for your gyro logging, that probably works quite well.
Or match that to your GoPro kind of thing.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe suggesting to Walksnail now is that they've been making the cameras. It's like, maybe you should really start pushing like some other manufacturers to make the cameras and pop a gyro in the back of it and feed that out, because if you can record that on board as well, then that'd be really good for even for just, I don't know, like even maybe if you just for real stuff, if you're just going around and filming, you just want 1080p, just get a flat 8-bit image and off you go. That's it. It doesn't need to be.
I didn't realise they were working gyros in cameras now. Shows how long I haven't been building for. But
no. I think even Runcam put one in one of their races. I think it was a Racer 4 analog camera, and it was a gyro. And it was all it was there for was it was before they kind of integrated like camera angle and things into like the OSD. It was so that before they started using like fixed camera mounts, if you had a crash and you were racing and your camera dropped, the gyro was in there to tell you what your camera angle then was.
Okay.
So it could so you basically set it, you calibrated it on the bench, whatever, put it in your quad, and then when you tilted it up to the angle you wanted, it would tell you where you were, so you knew that every drone you put it in, you could get it exactly the same.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool little idea.
So it's a bit of a gimmick for that, but it's obviously giving people the idea to do stuff with gyros. And cameras now, so. It's pretty decent.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
So hopefully we'll have there'll be some more things in the new year to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's I'm looking forward to it. Like you say, new ventures in the new year. A lot of new contacts to get in touch with again, I think, and
definitely, there's new. I find new places all the time. Like even today, I chased up some emails I'd sent to like some gyms or something a few weeks back, and then I was doing a Google search for just some other places. I found like another 20 odd ones that were just in the area that I'd not seen before. So this seems to pop up all the time.
Nice.
Yeah, like Pontefract, that seems to just be all gyms. There's nothing but gyms. Like, I looked there, I was like, it's everywhere. There's loads of them. So
I like it.
So they must all be stacked in Pontefract. So
that'll be massive.
Absolutely huge. So what time are we on? Let's have a look. That's really good. Well, I've done an hour, so I think we've been waffling on for long enough. But
probably had enough of this.
Well, hopefully you have a good Christmas, and
have a good Christmas, everyone.
I'm planning to have a good Christmas, and hopefully everyone here has a good Christmas and gets all their FPV goodies that they want. I imagine probably quite a few people have ordered goggles too for Christmas.
I imagine so. I need to build my Christmas list actually for drone related.
Well, with the postal strikes, you better get it done soon, otherwise you don't get it.
True.
Get it in for Christmas.
True.
I saw the DJI. The goggles too. I think were back in stock on DJI this week.
Yeah.
If anyone wants, I think I was on the 12th. So they're probably all sold out by now. By the time this comes out, they'll definitely be sold out.
Yeah.
Or it'll be Christmas, and then it'll be too late anyway.
Yeah.
So cool.
Check back in the new year and see what Santa brought you. Huh?
Yeah, hopefully he's brought me some more gigs.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
Go.
See you next time, guys.